Hi guys, and welcome back to The Room. Today we're heading on to Chapter 4. So, as always, if you're lost somewhere, you can't find a solution, or you enjoy listening to my voice, please keep watching and keep an eye out for more videos. As we can see, instead of getting a completely new box in this chapter, we're moving on to the top of our old box. As we can see, everything we did in the last chapter is down here, and we're going to be playing around with this now. We can still see the stars, so let's dive right in. This time, since this is nearly flat, I would suggest starting with the eyepiece. And we are seeing arrows. Not sure what those arrows are right now, but we will figure it out later. Can we see anything else? I think I see a little fingerprint. The first thing we can do without the use of the eyepiece is slide this in order to make the lines fit. And we got a brass winding handle and another note from our dear friend AS. August 15th. Something is wrong. I followed the incantation to the very letter. Astaroth did not appear. There are no answers to be had. More questions. The visions have increased. They gather to me, and I cannot stay in one place for long. I try to monitor them, but the lens hurts my eyes. I have mixed a solution for the pain. For those that follow and find this journal, I lack the power to describe this. There is no concept within the human sphere with which to explain it. The house is so much larger now. There are rooms everywhere. So as we can see, it's not going well for our friend. And I think we're walking straight into what he is so scared of. Okay, but now we have a crack. And let's see. See this? A small socket. Well, could this fit here? Yes, it can. We're still keeping to the star theme, as we did a little bit in the previous chapter. And now we have this. Non est ad astra mollis et terris vi. Actually, we're missing a letter here. The original quote is non est ad astra mollis et terris via, which loosely translates to there's no easy path from the earth to the stars. It's by Seneca. When we press this button, we get a new constellation. It's a sword constellation, and at this point, even if we try pressing the button again, nothing will happen. So, why did we get the sword constellation for? Are we seeing the texture? This is a very familiar texture. Now, as we've done many times before, we are going to be making the hexagonal shape. That's extremely important to the story. Perfect. And we received an ornate ancient dagger. Where could the ornate ancient dagger fit? Well, there's a little slot in the exact center of the table. It looks perfect for an ornate dagger like this. Our box is becoming extremely intricate now. It is almost scary how much elements and how many things we could potentially do here. So, what should we start with? Well, I'm thinking we should go and check if anything changed with our texture here. Ah, now this symbol is going to be important. If you ever play a game like this, I do recommend to have a notebook with you at all times, just in case you find symbols that you may need to memorize, unless your memory is perfect, of course. Then fine, just memorize them. Now, we've uncovered a little keypad here, so let us make the symbol. And now the little sun in the middle is glowing. And the game is even leading us to what we should be doing next. Now we get an eye constellation. And the texture is back to being more rainbow-like. Look at this. A new symbol for us. And the planets and the sun are spinning. You can already see there's going to be a symbol to be made here once again, but as long as the planets are spinning, there is no way to align the symbol. So let's go back to our keypad and make the new symbol. Now the planets are all aligned in our favor. All we need to do now is make the shape one more time. And now we got a large gold amulet. Now you may not have noticed before, but the table does have this, which is a large circular indentation. The table seems back to normal. So now we can spin this amulet, and you might be curious, what for? Why would I do that? Well, remember the arrows? The arrows will tell us how to align it. So right now, one of the arrows is aligned. We can go back here, and we see this. Now, what do you think this means? This is one of the rows in our keypad. This is the second from the top row, and we see there will be two symbols here. Now that we know this, we can spin it whichever way you want to start, align another arrow, and go back. And we see the top row is going to have one symbol. Going clockwise again, another arrow is going to be aligned. And the bottom row will have two symbols. And the last arrow. The second from the bottom row, one symbol. Now that we know all that, let's go back to our keypad. Do you recognize this from our friend's AS notes? I do. This is the energy source harnessing the null element. And the game once again tells us you should go back to the constellations and press the button again. Thanks, game. And we get to the symbol of the null element. Let's go back to our texture. And I think we're not in the same place we were before. This is very odd. Well, now it's time to align the symbol. And this seems a perfect fit for our null element. Chapter complete. Pleasing progress, but do you really think you have proven yourself yet? Well, I think I'm starting to prove myself. This chapter took less time than usual, I think, because the game was giving us hints as to where to turn to once we completed something. And we have just one chapter left, so I hope you enjoyed. And if you want to know what the finale of this game will be, then keep watching and I'll provide the last episode very soon. Bye!
Why